so it says to us, the information stored on a compact disc is encoded in a series of pits and lands. All right, so we have pits and we have lands. These are on CDs. Okay. Each pit is about point, and we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Each pit is 0.1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 3 meters long. This is each. All right, and it says the average, nope, that's a land. Let me flip-flop these. We have lands and we have pits. All right, so it says the space in between are called pits. So each land is this long. The average pit length is, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then 2 meters long. And this is each. All right, it says write each of these lengths in scientific notation, then write the combined length of each land and pit. All right. So if we write these, we did not talk about adding them, but let's talk about how we might add them, okay? So if I take point 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then 3, all right? If we change this into scientific notation, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This is the work I should expect to be seeing in changing standard form to scientific notation. Some of you are forgetting to show me that decimal work. So that ends up being 3 times 10 to the negative 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And this would be meters. These are our lands. And then we talk about our pits. So again, I'm moving at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So this is 2.2 times 10 to the negative 6 meters. All right, they want our combined length of one pit and one land. All right, which means I have to add these together. What do you notice? So no, I did not talk to you about this. However, what do you notice about both of those numbers? What do you notice about both those numbers? Alex? They have the same exponent. So do you think you can just add those together? Can't I just add these two numbers together? All right, so let's write a note there. So adding scientific notation numbers. If the 10 to whatever power both have the same power, just add the first factors. All right, I'm not going to give you any where they wouldn't, because that's different math. So my combined length is going to be 3 times 10 to the negative 6 plus 2.2 times 10 to the negative 6. So what we can kind of do is treat these times 10 to the negative 6, treat these as like our variables. Treat as variables. All right, so these are the same. I'm going to put in quotation variables. So add the 3 plus the 2.2 and keep that 10 to the 6th. So when I do that, I end up with 5.2 times 10 to the negative 6 meters. Okay. It says, suppose a compact disk contains that many 2 billion pits and 2 billion lands. How long would this series of pits and lands be if it was laid out in a straight line? Okay. So, someone tell me what I'm going to do here. What am I going to do here? Molly? All right, so I have 2 billion. Well, give me, instead of giving me the details, what is your game plan? What's your plan of attack here? So I don't want doing any math until we have an idea of why we're doing it. So what do you think, Molly? Yeah, it's going to be the total length, isn't it? All right, so this right here is meters per pit and land. That's what this is. How many of you guys understand that that is what we found in A? All right, so this is the number of pits and lands.
Currently the wind chill is right around 0. We are staying inside for recess for today. Once again, we will have an indoor recess. The gym is not available, so all classes will return to their homeroom for today. Thank you.
All right, so I have 2 billion pits. I have 2 billion lands.
Just a further reminder, for all students wanting to participate in this year's Geography Bee, please turn in all signed forms for the Geography Bee by this Friday, December 20th. Thank you.
So as Molly said, I'm going to take my number of meters per pit and land, and I'm going to multiply it by my number of pits and lands. And that's going to give me my total length. So I need to change this 2 billion, as Molly was going to do, into scientific notation. All right, so I'm going to flip so I can write that down. So I have 2 billion. Somebody change that into scientific notation for me. Go ahead, AJ. It does. 2 billion pits. They do, and this is the combined length of both of them together. This is the combined length of both of them together, right? So if I have 2 billion of both, that's a good question. What do you guys think? Should I be doing it with 4 billion or should I be doing it with 2 billion? Because this is the combined of both. Should I be doing 2 billion or should I be doing 4 billion? What do you guys think? Ada? Why? Okay, so this is both of them, right? How many of you guys agree that we should do both? All right, that makes sense, right? I still need to change 2 billion into scientific notation, though, don't I? Yes? Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and do this. So somebody change my 2 billion into scientific notation, because it's 2 billion of both. So someone change that. Pierre? I'm sorry, Patrick. You should already have this in your homework. Excellent. Because I want to go after the 2, right? So what is this going to be in scientific notation? All right, so I have 2 times 10 to the 9th power. I'm just thinking for a second. Hang on one second. So these are our pits, and these are also, we have 2 times 10 to the 9th lands. How many of you guys agree with that? Okay. So I want to explain something to you. I have 5.2 times 10 to the negative 6 meters. Somebody tell me again, what does this stand for? Somebody tell me again, what does this stand for? Brendan? It's combined length of a pit and land. How many of you guys agree with that? Okay. So if I was to draw something like this, and I know this, I'm not drawing exactly, but let's pretend that's what this is. This, let's say these are my pits, and these are my lands. How many of you guys agree with that? Okay. That is this distance. How many of you guys agree that that is what I can say? I can represent that as that distance. Okay. I have 2 billion pits and 2 billion lands. Does that mean that I have 2 billion of this whole thing and then another 2 billion of this whole thing? No. I have 2 billion of this. Because I have 2 billion here and I have 2 billion here. I'm not getting 4 billion that I'm multiplying this by. Because we've already combined these together. If I said that each land was this length and each pit was that length, then I would deal with 4 billion. But I don't. I have 2 billion of that. I have 2 billion of those. Because I have 2 billion of this, and I have 2 billion of this. I have 2 billion of this combination. How many of you guys understand that? So for this game plan, it's my meters per pit and land, and I'm going to multiply that by the number of pit and land combos, because this is pit and land combos. This is going to be my total length. So this is going to be my 5.2 times 10 to the negative 6 times 2 times 10 to the 9th. That is what that is. So this is not 4 billion. This is 2 billion, because I have 2 billion of this combination. Do you guys understand? So pay attention to what this measurement stands for. So when I do that, I end up with, and I'm just going to I need to go quickly because we're almost done here. So I'm going to move next to each other the numbers that I can multiply together. Questions so far? Okay. So when I multiply 5.2 times 2, I end up with 10.4 times 10 to the negative 6 plus 9. So I have 10.4 times 10 to the 3rd. And this is equal to, my total length is going to be my x. Am I done? Brendan? Why? Excellent. So I need to change that 10 to that 10.4. So here's my 10.4. This is the work I should be expecting to see from all of you. Brendan, what am I going to do? Go ahead, keep going. Moving the decimal one place to the left. Thank you. And what does that become? Not times 10 to the 3rd. Thank you. I misunderstood you if you said first. Times 10 to the 1st. And then I'm just tacking on that times 10 to the 3rd. Right, Brendan? Excellent. Go ahead. So I have 1.4. What does that mean, combine them? Excellent. So what's my final? 1/4. And what units go on that? Meters. You guys cool with that? All right, so it's super, super important that as you're doing these, you pay attention to what your information that you found means. You come up with your game plans and make sure you understand what you found means. How many of you guys used 4 billion instead of 2 billion? Okay, can you guys see how that is only 2 billion because that's the combined length of both of those, each one of those together? Can you guys see that? All right, so drawing it maybe was helpful. Once I drew it, did that make more sense to you guys? Okay. All right, we're all done. You guys are good to go.